Any parent with a teenager cringes a little when their child gets behind the wheel of a car. Car crashes are the #1 killer of teens in this country, and it may be in large part because the teens are not paying enough attention when they get on the road. Today, consumer correspondent Janice Lieberman is here with details on that, and this is disturbing stuff.
So totally serious. Recent surveys show up to half of all teens say they text message or talk on the phone while driving. So just how dangerous can this be? We put some teen drivers to the test, and what we found was alarming. High school juniors Hannah FISHMAN and SALOMON MORENO love chatting with friends. Even when it's time to drive home,
Hello?
Their mouths and fingers keep on talking.
If I'm just trying to send a quick message, what I'll quickly do is just text them.
I don't want to be cut off from the social network if I'm driving. I don't think it's too much of a distraction to read a text message, get a voicemail, answer a phone call.
But what's good for their social life may not be so good for their safety. According to the government, driver inattention is the #1 factor in car crashes. And driving while texting, tuning your iPod, or talking on the cell phone is an especially dangerous cocktail for teens.
The probability of there being in a crash increases dramatically when they're using these devices.
Engineering professor Don Fisher studies teen drivers using this simulator. It's a Saturn sedan that travels down a virtual road, accelerating, turning, and braking just like a real car.
We find in scenario after scenario after scenario where newly licensed drivers need to anticipate hazards, that they do so much less well than do experienced drivers.
One reason, Fisher found, is that teens look away from the road 4 times longer than adults when distracted. But few see it as a problem.
I haven't had any close calls. I haven't had any near accidents.
When I'm on the phone, I feel confident enough to be driving and feel safe.
These teens may have thought that too. They were killed in car crashes. Police say they may have been distracted while texting or using their phones at the wheel.
Put on your seatbelt.
We wanted to see how distractions would affect our teen drivers, so we had experts put them to the test in the simulator. With their parents watching, Solomon and Hannah each took a 20-minute drive. Along the way, they were told to perform specific in-car tasks, like dialing a phone number, shuffling an iPod, or sending a text. These high-tech glasses monitored how long they looked away from the road.
When you're driving, if you have your eyes off the road for more than 2 seconds, you are at an increased risk of crashing.
2 seconds doesn't seem that long, but watch our kids. When Hannah looks down to make a call, she ends up swerving all over the road. And when she types out a text message, she's so distracted, she slams into the car in front of her.
You killed several pedestrians.
Hannah was shocked, and so was her father. He said he calls his daughter while she's driving all the time.
I have to come up with a system as a parent whereby she can hold off on checking messages or using the phone, picking up the phone, until she's parked.
Solomon held steady making phone calls, but when he starts sending texts, he nearly collides with his truck. And adjusting his iPod, he never sees the traffic stopped at this crosswalk. Instead, he blows right through, possibly killing a pedestrian.
It's definitely a wake-up call for me. It's definitely going to really change my behavior.
In the end, Fisher says these devices left our teens dangerously distracted up to 80% of the time. His advice? Keep them off when you're on the road.
Shut up and drive, drive, drive. Shut up and drive, drive, drive.
Currently, 6 states and the District of Columbia prohibit using wireless communication devices while driving. 20 other states are considering similar bans this year, and don't you think it's about time?
Yeah, I was going to say I was surprised more states don't already have the bans. Not just teens. Let's just say that all drivers do this. But 2 seconds is not a long period of time for something terrible to happen. What are parents supposed to do besides getting in the car with their teens every time they drive?
They have to ban the use of these devices in the car. If they catch them using it, they have to take them away. And there's no story. End of story. They have to confiscate it
And
from
how
them.
about that father who said, look, I call my daughter when she's in the car so I can check on her safety. In fact, he may be risking her safety because she's busy with the phone.
Exactly, and I understand how a parent would want to know where the child is, but have the child get it before they get in the car, say, I am leaving my destination. And then when they arrive, I have arrived at my destination. And if they're on the phone, Mom, Dad, I'm on the phone, goodbye.
All
Or
right,
don't pick it up.
There are times you have to dial a number in the car. So I guess what they're telling us, it's better to look down for 1 second, push one number, look back at the road. Look down for instead of looking down for 2 or 3 seconds at a time.
Misconception. They mean 2 seconds within a 6-second time period. So even looking up and down each time takes up 2 seconds. It doesn't work. Don't dial the number. Bluetooth or some of these other speakerphone things are a little better, but not great.
Yeah, and other things that people tend to do, you're looking for a map. You're trying to find a CD for the CD player. I mean, there's 100 things we do that takes our eyes off the road.
Let it drop. Don't look at the map. Even those GPSs, which we just did a story on,
right,
they're distracting when you're plugging in the address and you're looking up and down. So you really have to be careful, especially teens, because they don't have that experience.
And because car crashes are the #1 cause of death for teens in this country. Janice Lieberman, thanks very much.
Okay.